Hello everyone, it's Ashley from the CoEdition team. Welcome to another episode of On the Plus Side. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a really awesome guest today, and she actually is one of our customers. That is how I met her. I stumbled across a live that she was doing and trying on all these clothes from CoEdition, and I was like, oh my gosh, who is this girl? So I reached out to her. We have chatted. We have become almost friends. I would say friends for sure. Her name is April Williams. She is a phenomenal human being. She has lost over 120 pounds, and that is what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about body positivity and weight loss, and I do want to put a trigger warning out there because I know that this can be a pretty sensitive topic for some people, so I just want to put that out there, let everyone know that we will be talking about weight loss. So if that is not something that is good for you, totally understandable. But I think that April is going to really spin this in a very positive way and in a way that's going to be very helpful to a lot of people. So without further ado, let me bring on the lovely April Williams. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Ashley.
How are you?
Very well. Doing good. Very excited to be joining you tonight.
Oh my gosh, you look fabulous as always.
Thank you. This is one of my newest CoEdition pickups, and I absolutely love it. It's a city chic jacket. It's like, I think I always wear it almost every day now.
Yes, I think I've seen you in that on your Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's made a few appearances.
It's such a good staple for your wardrobe. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I agree.
April, thank you so much for joining us. I am ecstatic to have an actual customer on the plus side. I never thought that we would get the opportunity, but like it just landed in our hands so organically, and it could not have been it just couldn't have worked out better. So if you were here for my intro, I let everyone know a little bit about yourself. But
Awesome.
Why don't you fill us in on a little bit more about who you are and maybe how you found CoEdition.
Yeah. So I am a 39-year-old woman. I live in Washington State. I pay my mortgage as a public school teacher, and I have been in education for about 15 years now, which is kind of crazy to say. Yeah, it went by really quickly. And in my free time now, I am an advocate for bariatric surgery, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But I have always been a larger woman. I've always been a plus size human, even when I was a very small child. And finding clothes that fit was always a challenge. I mean, especially back in like the late 90s. I mean, I was like at a size 16 at the Gap in like middle school, and there was really no other option, you know, for clothing a child that was larger than most. So I struggled with it, you know, pretty much all through my young adult into adulthood. And I really found CoEdition because I very much enjoy fashion. I very much enjoy, you know, looking a certain way and just, you know, feeling a certain way in your clothes. And it was really hard to find what I was looking for at Nordstrom's or at Lane Bryant. And I came across CoEdition probably based like on a Facebook ad. I'm not exactly sure where I first found you guys, and just absolutely fell in love because I was introduced to brands that I didn't even know existed. Right. I mean, they weren't carried at, you know, the bigger retail stores. Online shopping kind of wasn't, I mean, it was big, but it was different than it was now. And CoEdition was just such a safe place for me to go shop because I knew that the clothes were built for women that were shaped like me. And I knew that the quality was excellent. The customer service was great. Like the return policy was wonderful. And especially as a plus size woman, it's really hard to find clothes that fit well because you just kind of don't know where you are until you kind of find the brands that you love and you figure out those sizes and their size range. So yeah, I've been a customer of CoEdition for Oh my God. I think maybe as long as you've existed, a very, very long time. But it's always such a positive experience for me, because when I go to your website, I see women who look like me.
Yeah.
I see models that look like me. I don't see, a ton of photoshopping. I see stretch marks and I see back rolls, and I see me in those images. And it's just so refreshing to see these beautiful women, these empowered women looking fabulous in clothes, and just, expressing to the world who they are. So not only, are the products that you sell amazing, but how they are sold and how you get to interact with other women who are like you is just unparalleled.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for saying all of that. That is our number one goal. That is our goal.
Yeah.
Like, we just want women to feel empowered and feel like they have a safe space, and that we get that,
Yes.
So
yeah. And that is, mission accomplished.
I am so glad you had that experience. It just really makes me so happy. Okay, so let's just dive right in.
Awesome.
I feel like this is a topic that people I think some people will really be interested to hear your take on it. So you have lost over 120 pounds. That is a lot of weight. How tall are you?
It is a lot of weight. I'm 5'9" on a good day, 5'8" on a bad day. So I'm a bit of a taller woman.
You're tall like me.
Yeah.
I'm 5'10". But wow. So how long was this journey that you were on?
My entire life. I can't ever think of a time where I was not acutely aware that I was larger than other people. I cannot remember a time where people would ask me about the amount of food that I was consuming. I don't remember a time not feeling like I wasn't correct in my own body or in my own skin. So it's always been a struggle. When I was 18 years old, I graduated and I weighed 180 pounds and I was a size 16. Like, I was at the top of the range at the Gap, and I remember this, like it was yesterday. But I can remember thinking then, oh my gosh, I'm so large and I'm fat, all these horrible things that I would think about myself. And then I went to college, and college was an amazing experience. I met my people. I discovered that it was cool to be a nerd. Like, all these really wonderful things happened in college. And probably for the first time in a very long time, I felt comfortable in a social group. And then I also discovered that, like, people thought I was funny, and you got invitations to do just things that I'd never really experienced in my life. But before that, I have wonderful friends that I've known for my entire life. But it's one thing to have these girls, your people, and it's another thing to have a social circle. So I got to college and I had a social circle, and it was drinking and pizza and partying and not worrying about what you're eating or what you're consuming. And I really gained a lot of weight. I think I gained probably 100 pounds in college. And it was a real interesting dynamic for me, because my social circle was blooming. I was really finding out who I was. I was having a wonderful time, and my weight just kept creeping up, and nobody really said anything about it. I didn't feel excluded. I didn't feel left out. It was just a really happy time. But it was also a very stressful time. I was trying to figure out really who I wanted to be as a woman and as a human, and what my role would be. I always wanted to be a teacher. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. And I was denied from the College of Education because my grades were not the best, because I had found my people and I had prioritized having fun over the academics. And when I was denied from the College of Education, I had a real rude awakening, and it helped me focus, but it also just brought up a lot of, I think, addictive tendencies, because it was like, oh, I really need to do this. Like, I can't mess up. And, I think I turned to food, and sometimes I even turned to alcohol to get through. And after you do that, research is showing like 6 times it creates these new pathways in your brain, and that is just what you do. So when life got difficult or stressful or something triggered, I would turn to food. And turns out, now that I've been through bariatric surgery and I've had all these tests done, my body produces an insane amount of the hunger hormone ghrelin. My stomach could balloon to a very large capacity. I know this because part of my stomach has been removed, and they they show it to you, you know, basically. So I had all these like biological factors that were kind of working against me living at a healthy weight. And I just continued to gain weight. I continued to do everything under the sun that I possibly could have. And that was kind of the dangerous road of diet culture. I think that I definitely went down. It was fasting, it was juicing, it was Jenny Craig, it was the cayenne pepper, you know, that it was the shots, the pills, the whatever it was. And, you know, and I just did this. So as my weight was doing this, though, my professional career was taking off, my social circle was growing, I met my husband, I got married, and really my life is amazing. I have the life that I think people dream of. It's just been phenomenal. But every single time I looked in the mirror, I never saw myself. I could not look at myself. I would like, you know, my eyes would dart to the side, or I would see a picture of myself and I'd say, well, that's not me. I don't look like that. And then I started having some medical issues. I would go to the doctor and they would say, oh, wow, you're kind of in the pre-diabetic stage, or, oh, well, your blood pressure is elevated. And every time I went, it was something else, something else, something else. And the doctors would always say, well, you know, I mean, you're healthy as a horse. It's just, you know, you're carrying excess weight and that could contribute to X, Y, and Z. And then my husband and I got pregnant, very excited, and I miscarried after the first trimester and went into our OB. We got tested. The OB came back, said, nothing is wrong with you or your husband, but your weight could be a contributing factor. That was all that they said. I was very fortunate. I've never had a doctor that has said, you know, has done this to me. They've been very clinical, and they said, here's what this is at. This could be some factors. Do with it as you wish. And then I miscarried again. And I miscarried again. Oh my goodness. And it was, you know, it was difficult because when you can't point to something, your mind goes in all of these different places. And it was very hard for me because the older I got, the less and less I saw any resemblance of myself in the mirror, and the less mobility I had, right? So I was thinking I was being active, but I wasn't really being active. I wanted to do all of these things, but I couldn't do it all of a sudden because of my size. We live on a lake in the summer, and we had bought kayaks. We're very excited to go kayaking. And when we went to purchase them, I had to buy a different one because I couldn't fit in any of them. And it was just, these things kept happening. And, you know, I have an amazing friend who introduced me to the body positivity movement maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And it was eye-opening for me because for the first time ever, I learned, I guess, the impact of not seeing people who look like me was having, right, on my psyche. And I spent a lot of time learning and listening and flushing out my social media feeds and really working on my self-talk and clothing my body for the size and shape that I was at the time. I mean, I worked very hard at that. Yeah. But I never felt right. I never felt that I was living in the body that I was supposed to be living in. Something was wrong. Something was off. And when everything in your life is great, you're just going, what am I missing? And it just, it's not a pleasant place to live, even when everything else is great. So I love Instagram. I was cruising Instagram 2 years ago, and I came across a friend's picture, and she looked amazing. She looked very different. She and I were the exact same size. We had the same, like, we were twins and all that. She actually introduced me to City Chic, to the brand. And I messaged her on Instagram and I said, girl, what are you doing? Because I want to do that too. And she said, oh, I had bariatric surgery. I'm sorry, what? She's like, I had weight loss surgery. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, that's only for people who are 600 pounds. And that's just insane. Like, oh my God, why would you do that? And that conversation absolutely changed my life. Because for the first time, I saw a woman who was me, who was experiencing similar health issues, similar battles, utilize a medical tool to help her live her life at a weight that was healthy for her. It was mind-blowing, mind-blowing. So I actually reached out to her surgeon, had my consultation, and made the commitment to have bariatric surgery. And it has just been a life-changing event on a lot of different planes, I guess. And it took me a long time to not feel like a traitor to the body positivity movement. took me a long time to not feel like a traitor to women or to like this no judgment, you know, to all of these things that I wholeheartedly believe in.
Mm-hmm.
But where I have come to peace with it is that, you know, the body positivity movement, from what I understand, is that everybody is worthy and that there's no judgment when it comes to what a body looks like. I 100% agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But am I really an advocate for the body positivity movement if I'm not positive about my own body?
Mm-hmm.
If I feel like I'm not even a real person inside this body that I had at the time?
Yeah.
And the answer to me was no. I'm not a traitor to that movement. I can advocate, I can support, I can live those values in a body that is a weight that is healthy for me. That to me is body positivity.
I love that. I love how you worded that. And I personally agree. I know that this is a very, it's a highly debated topic in the body positivity
Mm-hmm.
movement. I feel like there's been
Mm-hmm.
a slew of negativity regarding weight loss. I mean, I feel like sometimes diet culture and weight loss get sort of grouped in together, but I feel like
Mm-hmm.
they are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, diet culture is there to tell anyone and everyone, you must lose weight, you must do X, Y, and Z, no matter what their size is, no matter what their mental health is, no matter what, you know, they're there to
Mm-hmm.
sell you products. Whereas
Yes.
on the other hand, I feel like if there's someone like you that you're like, I have done everything, but something just doesn't feel like it's clicking and it's holding me back from my ultimate happiness. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like getting more fit, becoming more healthy, you know, extending my longevity, X, Y, and Z. I feel like there should be a place for that within the body positive movement.
I agree. I've really been, I've done a lot of reflecting on this recently. And, you know, I've lost my weight. My goal weight was 180 pounds. I was like, I want to be back to my high school weight. I could get there, but I would have to do some pretty unhealthy things to arrive at that weight. Well, that's not healthy, nor is that aligned to my values or, you know, the body positivity movement. It's not about that, right? It's about finding this place where I see myself in the mirror, where I can touch and feel what is my body, that I am maybe not thrilled with it, but I'm good with it. My body can do the things that I want it to do. And really, the number one thing is I'm metabolically well. I do not have any metabolic syndrome markers, right? I'm no longer high hypertension. I'm not pre-diabetic. My sleep apnea has completely disappeared. All of these medical things that indicated that I was going to be met with an early demise have gone away. So why should I feel bad about accessing a medical tool to live my life at a weight that's healthy for me, not for anybody else, not for a weight that some BMI chart is telling me, right? For a weight that I'm like, nope, this is good for me. Why is that a bad thing? Why am I being villainized or demonized? Or why are people saying, well, you took the easy way out because you had surgery? Really? Well, then why are you not saying that to your uncle who had his knee replaced, or your aunt who had a heart valve replacement? Or how about your friend that takes diabetes medications? These are all medical tools that people use to live their healthiest life.
Yeah.
Bariatric surgery is no different.
Yeah.
It's just not.
I think there is a lot of stigma about weight loss surgery, but honestly, like, I feel like there's stigma within the body positivity movement about any kind of weight loss, whether it's surgery or diet and exercise, like anything, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fair. I think that there is definitely a time and a place. So prior to you so how long ago did you get your surgery?
I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy in July of 2019. So this summer will be 2 years.
Okay. So prior to this, you know, you're trying to align with your body. You're trying to feel positive. You're trying to find joy and happiness in this vessel that you're living in. But nothing's clicking. Like, how did that look? Like, what you had said, like, you were doing a lot of like positive self-talk and You were actively trying.
Yeah, it looks like devastation. I mean, that's what it looked like, because, you know, you ride this, you know, you really are riding this wave of euphoria and despair, because when you know something isn't right, you desperately want to make it right, and you do everything that you possibly can. And diet culture and these companies are saying, no, no, do X, Y, and Z, and this will work. That's true. X, Y, and Z will work. But if you do X, Y, and Z and your existence is miserable, you will no longer do X, Y, and Z because you're miserable.
Right.
So then you go down this wave of despair. Well, I'm a failure. I'm so stupid. I should have just stuck with that. Why can I not do that? And then, oh, I really got to do something. Okay. I mean, who wants to live like that? Nobody wants to live like that. It's just not, it's not healthy. It's not healthy for your mental well-being. It's not healthy for your physical self. It's not healthy for anything. You know, and I've really come to realize that, and I've written about this often, right? Society loves a fat person who's trying, right? That society wants to root for you, but they don't actually care if you succeed or not, because they want to watch this, right? And it was just like, you know what? This is just so exhausting. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not really learning things that are going to help me figure out how to finally live my life at a healthy weight. And I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm done. I did a program and I lost 68 pounds. It taught me some really good things about nutrition, which I just didn't know before, but it was a miserable experience. And I got down to this low weight and everybody was like, oh my gosh, you look so amazing. You just must be like so happy. And I was like, actually, I'm not. I am losing my ish because I don't know how to actually maintain this. And I'm eating food that isn't really food, and I'm starving myself, and I'm constantly thinking about food. I'm panicking. This is not actually good. And I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So then the weight comes back. And then you're a failure, right? And then people are like, oh, it didn't work again. I mean, it's just, you're just going, oh my God, this is just insane.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
That,
you know, and
yeah. And that's why diet culture is so toxic, because it's like I said, it's a moneymaker. It's like they almost want you to fail.
Oh yeah. Well, and then you look at the things that are in those products. I mean, they're like cancer-causing agents. I mean, it's not real food. It's frankenfood. It's modified this. It's fake sugar that. It's dried pellets that you put in water. And I mean,
yeah.
No.
So
right? I have lost over 120 pounds eating whole foods, eating an amount that is right for me. I now get a hunger signal. So when I eat, I'm full. I stop eating. I no longer panic about the amount of food that I'm consuming or not consuming. It's really like this, you know, for me, food absolutely clouded my vision. It was maybe a month or two when I was recovering from surgery, and I was sitting in my new home. I was looking at the view, and it dawned on me. I was like, oh my God, I have so much free time. What was taking up my time before? It was food. It was thinking about food. It was preparing food. It was shopping for food. It was eating food. It was zoning out after food. 90% of my brain's capacity was dedicated to food. And it clouded everything in my life. And the only tool that I have found that has helped that's cleared this fog, is bariatric surgery.
Well,
and it just pains me to think about how many people are living their lives as I was before surgery, thinking that there is not a solution out there for them. Because here's what's the most devastating part about carrying an excessive amount of weight that's maybe not healthy for you, is that you have done amazing things in your life with like 10% of your brain, right? And it is so exhausting, yet you have accomplished amazing things. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're an aunt, you're a dog mom, you're a professional, you're an entrepreneur, right? All these things that you're doing it on 10% of your true capacity. Imagine what you could do with who you truly are if that fog was not there. And I just look at people who carry excess weight. It's not a judgment. I wish for them to, you know, to find a solution if that is appropriate for them. And I just think, God, it'd just be awesome, you know, for people to, I guess, to feel the way that I feel.
Yeah. I do think that it is so personal. You know, not everyone who is overweight, not everyone may feel that fog. Not everyone may feel held back in their life. You know, someone who is fat might live an awesome, stellar life with perfect health. Like, size does not equal health. We have learned that.
No.
However, your personal journey is, you know, this is what you experienced. This is, you know, you had these issues, you were pre-diabetic. So this is what worked for you. And what I want people to take from that is that if you are struggling right now, if someone is out there struggling and they're like, I'm trying to be positive about my body, I'm doing everything I possibly can, and it's not like, there's just something wrong, or maybe like you went to the doctor and they're like, they gave you some news or something, like, I want us to be here to tell them, like, it's okay. Like, you have that right to make the change if that is what you want and if that is what you need.
Yes. And yes, I think struggling with that is normal, and we can do all the work that is out there. We can read all the books, we can watch all the shows, we can immerse ourselves in that culture. And I am a better person because I did that. Yeah. I am a better person because I follow women that look like me. I follow women who are larger than me. That is part of a very rich existence for me now. But something was off for me, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm a traitor to the body positivity movement. It means that I'm an advocate for it. It means that I support you no matter what your size is. It's almost like any judgment that I was maybe hanging on to has kind of been released now for me. I don't care. Your weight and your size is not a factor for me anymore. It's like almost like a non-starter. I just don't care. And if we could all get to that place, we'd be helping people who want to focus on their health, that want to look at this from a metabolic standpoint, if you will, right? Because as you said, the research has shown, we just spoke to a doctor, Dr. Ortiz, and he is an expert in this like metabolic wellness community. And they're finding that there is no like major correlation between weight and metabolic syndrome, right? So you can be carrying excess weight and be a perfectly healthy human. That it's not, you know, we really need to stop looking at a person's size and instantly assume that there's something medically wrong with them. That is not the case at all. Yeah. Our weight, our makeup, what our bodies look like is individual to every single person. And to single somebody out and assume that their weight is what it is because of X, Y, and Z is wrong on every level.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you, you know, were you nervous at all? Like, I don't know how immersed you were in the body positive movement. I feel like at one point in time, I was really, really involved, and then like I started to see some things that sort of rubbed me the wrong way. And I think one of them was, you know, like this message that like, if you want to change your body in any way, you're not body positive, or if you want to lose weight, then you're fat phobic. And I was just like, this doesn't seem right to me. Or even across the lines of not even like regarding weight loss, like if you want to get Botox, or if you want to dye your hair, or if whatever, like if you want to wear makeup, like you're not body positive. And that just seemed so silly to me, because I feel like initially the movement was so like freeing. And it was like, this is my body. This is what I want to do with my body. And I feel positive about what I'm doing with my body. And so that is the goal. And then I feel like it went on a completely different route. And so when you were going through this, like after you had gotten the surgery and you were going through the process of losing the weight, like, were you ever sort of like felt uneasy about it? Like, were you like ever worried to share with friends or like colleagues like what you were going through?
No, I was, it took me maybe a couple months. So I made the commitment to have surgery, and I really waited. I just thought, I'm not going to tell anybody. This is just, weight is so it's such a thing. And I don't have the capacity to deal with that. And then I just thought, but you know, I'm going to lose a bunch of weight, so I just might as well tell people. And you know, some people, I think, were upset that I had opted to have bariatric surgery because they very much believe in and align with the body positivity movement. And my question or my conversation with them was, okay, but I'm not healthy and I don't feel right and I don't see myself in the mirror. Like, so you're telling me that I need to stay unhealthy and I just need to get good with all of these things so that I can be an advocate for the body positivity movement. And that just didn't seem right. You know, and it has been a struggle, I guess, on the opposite side of that too, because I feel like it's been such a pendulum swing, right? In the early 80s, it was, you're a horrible person if you have excess weight. No, you know, it was just awful. And then body positivity came along and it was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, we can't judge people based on their size. Their size has no impact on who they are as a person, right? Yeah, awesome, wonderful. And then it became this, oh, but you can't do anything to your body. Your body is your body. And it's like, same thing. Like, okay, well, yeah, it just didn't seem to jive with what I was personally experiencing. You know, and after surgery, people have treated me differently. They interact with me differently. They have different conversations with me. The compliments that I get are different. I mean, you just know that things are treated differently. And I guess, have to kind of think back to, you know, the things that I learned about, you know, body positivity and about that movement, why that movement was so important. So for me, I guess it's just kind of important to not to call out those things, but if I know the person and I can have a conversation with them about it, then I do say, like, you know, you would have never said that to me before. Why did you opt to compliment that? Or why did you, you know, why did you bring this now? What's changed? Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting because, I mean, some of my closest friends are like, yeah, I guess I'm just having a really hard time with you looking so different. Well, why? You know, what is that all about? And it leads to some really powerful and impactful conversations. But people are very nervous to have these kinds of conversations because it's a hot button topic and I don't want to say the wrong thing and I don't want to appear to go again, you know, and it's just like, okay, we need to have a conversation. We need to get on the same page. We just need to get some stuff out and we need to understand others' perspective. You might not agree with it. That's fine. But at least you have heard it and you've understood and you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I was pulling up something while you were talking. I was listening still, but I think because of this issue, more and more people have sort of started to align more with body neutrality than body positivity, because I feel like now, like, they're like, people talk about how they talk about toxic body positivity, and I think the toxicity is where someone comes in and says, oh, you can't do that. Like, they're telling you how to love yourself, but you can't do that. Like, so I think I had sent you a graphic.
Yes.
Because I had recently come across a body positivity / body neutrality graphic. And, you know, I'd heard the term body neutrality, but I had never really understood it, like what it meant. Like, my idea was kind of like, when you think of body neutrality, you just kind of feel like meh about your body. Like, I could take it or leave it sort of thing. But this graphic, I kind of want to read to you guys what each said, just so we can like have that clarity as we're continuing to talk about it. So under body positivity, these are what they say. All people should be able to love their bodies as they are. Great. Body acceptance movement. So you've accepted what your body is, no matter where you are. And your body is beautiful regardless of what society says. I agree with those. And then body neutrality is, your appearance shouldn't determine your value. It's also part of the body acceptance movement. And loving your body is hard, and that's okay. That's a major one. You don't have to love the way you look all the time. And instead of focusing on how your body looks, focus on what your body does for you. And those last two were the biggest differences for me, because, you know, I would follow these body positive influencers on Instagram, and I will tell you, like following people like that really helped me back when I was, you know, starting out in my modeling career, when the body positive movement started. Like, it just was really great for me. But then I would have these people that I would follow for so long and like look up to them, and they'd be coming on and just being like, I have to be honest with you, like, I have been struggling so hard, like, with loving my body. And it was like, that's okay. Like, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You're a human being. Like, we aren't programmed to be like, do, have a great day. Like, you're going to love everything. And I think that is like where the body neutrality is coming in. It just makes so much more sense to me.
Well, and especially, I mean, the human body, especially women's bodies, they change throughout our entire life.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
And our weight, right? And our weight is going to fluctuate throughout our entire lives. So to say that I'm going to love every part of my body at every stage, even though it's going to do some weird things, that just doesn't seem realistic to me. That seems like mental gymnastics that just is not required. Because I don't love everything about every day. I don't love everything about anything. I mean, that just seems, unrealistic. And it's not a bad thing to love parts of your body and not be thrilled with others. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
And, you know, that just, what I really appreciate about body neutrality is just kind of removing it from the conversation, right? Like, nope, this is just not even something that we need to, this is my vessel. This is what gets me around. I don't understand why this is the conversation, but and body neutrality for me definitely makes a whole lot more sense to me. And it definitely aligns to the place that I have come to understand about my body and my weight and my experience.
Because it seems like your decision to go forward with the weight loss surgery was not only based on like how you looked, it was based on your ability to go out and do things, you know, go kayaking, go hiking, be active. And if that's the life that you want to lead, but you're having trouble doing everyday tasks, like, that is major, you know?
Well, and it's, you know, what I appreciate about the body positivity movement is this world is not designed for larger people. And that's asinine, right? Everybody is different, and everybody should be able to participate in the world in a capacity that they can, right? So this, you know, charging people more for larger clothes, right? Or charging them twice for I mean, all these, it's like a fat tax, right? It's like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So I absolutely do align to that. I don't know if I have the energy or the capacity to fight against that every single day, but I do have the energy and capacity to go, you know what, this just doesn't feel right for me. Something is wrong. And I should have the no judgment of the body positivity movement to say, you know what, if this is my body and I get to do whatever I want to do with it, and I want it to be different. Something is not right. So I very much appreciate that viewpoint of the body neutrality movement.
So before you got surgery, you were a size 22?
I was 22 on bottom. I was 3X on top, and I was 326 pounds.
Wow. And now you're a size 14.
I'm a solid size 14. Never thought I would see that number. And I weigh 205, 203. I think this morning I was 202.
So you're still considered, like, you would still shop, obviously, you still shop at CoEdition, which is a plus size store.
Oh no, I am a plus size.
How do you, like, how do you feel about that? Like, does that, like, when you got this surgery, were you wanting to, I mean, you said 180 pounds, but now that your body has settled and found a weight that, like, is rocking, like, it's rocking for you and you're doing amazing things, are you bummed? How do you feel about that?
I feel amazing. I feel ecstatic. I absolutely love the way my body looks in clothes. Not clothes. There's some areas that have done some things that maybe I'm not exactly thrilled about. Thank you, you know, body neutrality. I can be okay with that. But no, when I look in the mirror, I see myself. That's all that matters. It truly, I don't care if I'm a size 6. I don't care if I'm a size 16, 18. I mean, the size isn't important. It's how I feel. It's my health. It's what I can do. It's my mental clarity. It's my ability to put my energies into the areas of life that I want to. I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, I can play with my little nephew all day long and not have to worry about running out of steam. I mean, it's just, yeah. So no, I don't, I'm very, very happy that I am still a CoEdition customer.
I'm so glad. I just asked because
Yeah.
I know that, like, I have known people who have gone through surgery before, and in the end, like, they have still been under the plus size umbrella, and that has been hard for them. And me, on the other end, I've been plus my whole life. I've never been thin. And I'm like, back in my younger days when I may get offended about something like that, like, well, what's wrong with being plus size? I'm plus size. And so I was just curious about what your thoughts were on that. And where do you stand? I know we're talking about body neutrality now, but like, has your talking about body neutrality, had your experience or your relationship with the body positive movement changed at all since you've lost the weight?
I think there are some people that I used to interact with who are deep into the body positivity community. And I think that has changed a little bit. And we've had conversations about it, and that's all that I can do. I can't change their views, and they're not going to change mine. So, you know, I think it is what it is. Yeah. And I know so many people have a goal weight in mind, or they have a goal size. And it really goes back to, it's great to have that goal, but it's another thing to find this happy medium where you're living healthy, you are eating nutritious food, you're not controlled, or, you know, you're not obsessing over food, but you know, you can do this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where I'm at. And there is nothing in this world that is more important to me now than finding that balance and to maintain that balance. Yeah. So if that's me at a size 14, that's me at a size 14. And it's, people get thrown off by that. You know, the numbers on success after weight loss surgery really kind of vary. And they're actually doing a huge international study about this right now, because they're really trying to figure out what are the success rates of surgery. And the number that I keep coming across is that, you know, you only have a 50% chance of maintaining your low weight 2 years after surgery. And it has to do with addiction transfer and some other things, but a lot of people get this number. This is my goal number. And they don't realize what it's going to take to get there. Mm-hmm. And then they never get there, and they get depressed, and they enter into the shame cycle, and they kind of go back to their old ways, and their weight balloons. It's one thing to have a goal. It's another thing to maintain that goal. Yeah. And that's hard.
Yeah. I mean, that's why diet culture is like $1 billion thing, because that's what they feed off of.
Yeah. And there's I mean, even after bariatric surgery, I mean, there are, you know, you don't have to use any products after bariatric surgery to get to your low weight. Mm-hmm. You just eat whole food. You just eat real food, right? But there's all these companies like, oh, eat this protein bar, or drink this protein, or do this supplement, or this. I mean, you're bombarded with these, you know, food options. And then when your weight stalls, which is normal, right? Or when you know, you're a year and a half out of surgery, and your weight, you know, kind of plateaus, and you kind of get to this place, then everybody panics, and they're like, oh my God, but I'm not at my low weight. Well, then that could kick you into even more unhealthy eating habits, because now you're doing something not healthy to get even lower, right? Or you're working out 5-6 hours a day, or you're obsessing over, you know, every single macronutrient that you're taking in. I mean, it can just be never ending. Mm-hmm. It's a struggle. It's a struggle no matter where you are in your thinking about your weight. Yeah. It's just a difficult topic. And it's a challenge.
Well, I am so glad to hear that you are where you are, and that you are happy, and you are healthy, and you are like rocking amazing fashion. I just think that's so awesome. And again, you know, so before I recap, you have a community that that you help and support people who are going through this. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would love to. You know, after surgery, so you go through this big whole ordeal to get up to the day of your surgery, and then you have your surgery and you have a hospital stay, and then you come home and you're recovering. And then after about a week or two, you kind of come out of your anesthesia, you know, you're kind of coming out of your medical procedure, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do now? Right. And friends of mine who have had babies and also have had bariatric surgery say it's very similar to like what you experience after you welcome a child home. It's like, oh my God, what do I do with this thing? Right. I read all the books, but I didn't read the books about what happens after, you know, the baby's home with me. So there's really no support system out there for people who have had bariatric surgery. You're sent home with a binder and it says, eat this at this time, and then eat this, you know, a couple hours later. But there's nothing out there about like your mental health or the changes that you go through. There's just not a lot of community support for people who've had bariatric surgery. And that was what I discovered. And it was devastating. It was not fun. Mm-hmm. It was just very, very lonely. And I have a lot of experience teaching online. I know Zoom really well. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to start these bariatric meetups on Zoom. Just anybody who's had bariatric surgery, if they want to come together. COVID had just, you know, kind of got locked down. And I said, you know, we'll come together and we can do it virtually. So I started hosting these virtual sessions, and a lot of people came. A lot of people enjoyed them. We kind of got, you know, this little tiny community together. Well, a gentleman kept coming, and he would stay afterwards, and he and I would have these really awesome conversations about our bariatric experience. And I had told Jason, I said, hey, I'm kind of thinking about starting a podcast, because there were very few podcasts at the time. They were all clinical, not what I was looking for at all. And I approached him. I said, hey, you know, you and I have some really good conversations about our bariatric journey. You know, would you want to start a podcast? He did. So we dinked around with it for a couple of weeks. We recorded our first episode, and we thought, well, we'll see, right? Like, who knows? Turns out it became really, really popular. People really enjoyed it. So we've recorded about 50 podcast episodes now. Yeah. And what makes, I think, our community different is that, you know, Jason lives in Florida. I've never met Jason in person. Never met him in person. Wow. He lives in Florida. He's 44. He's a grandpa, right? He's at a completely different stage in his life. You know, I'm here in Washington State. I'm a female, no kids, you know, professional. But we're talking about the same things from these very different perspectives. And to have a male perspective and a female perspective just really brings a very holistic view to it. And then we started reaching out to professionals in our community. So on our podcast, we welcome bariatric surgeons, bariatric therapists, registered dietitians, people who specialize in mindset. So we acknowledge that we are not the experts in all things bariatric. We can talk about our experience, but we want to make sure that we, the bariatric patients, are getting the best advice out there. So we invite experts from our community to come on our podcast and talk about these things that we experience. So it's been very successful. We have a wonderful community that we've kind of fostered, and it's just a safe place for people to come and have these conversations. You know, a lot of people don't have people in their life that they talk about their bariatric experience with. They feel that they can't. There's stigma, there's judgment, their family doesn't support it, right? I mean, there's lots of different scenarios out there. But you need to find some kind of support, because what you're going through is major. And we're just very proud that we've been able to create this safe place for people to come and ask their questions about surgery or get this type of support that they're looking for. Mm-hmm. So we named our podcast East to West, WLS, because Jason's in Florida. He's the East and I'm the West. And we've got a podcast. We do monthly virtual bariatric meetups that are free. The podcast is free. The meetups are free. We have a very active Instagram page, and we're just working really hard to grow our support because the community needs it. And if we have the capacity to do it, then we're going to do it. And Jason and I often talk about, it's like that mental clarity. You know, after surgery, we both realized, wow, I have a lot of time. And it just became this like, well, what do I want to do with my time? You know, how do I want to serve other people? And this is what we landed on.
Wow, that's really awesome that you have found something that, like, through your journey, you are able to help other people. And that is just like so generous of you and just so great. Because I'm sure it cannot be easy, you know, like from making the decision to do it to going through it and then even afterwards, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I think I've always been called to teach. Like I said, it's the only thing that I've ever wanted to do. And I feel like what we're doing on East to West is no different than what I do with my cute little kiddos at school. Teaching is teaching is teaching. And if I have the ability to deliver information in a way that other people can use it, then I should do those things. And, you know, by me co-creating and being a part of this community, I'm keeping my recovery at the forefront of everything that I do for most of my day. I'm interacting with the people and the support that I need. And I need that community to find success. So if I'm going to create it, I can take from it when I need to. So it's a very loving, symbiotic relationship because people are there for me. When I need something, they're there. And if I find something that's helped me, I can share it with them.
Absolutely.
Well, what we always talk about, on East to West and in the podcast is that my recipe might not be the one that's going to work for you, right? But we can look at how everybody's cooking this thing and we can say, oh, well, I like cinnamon, but I don't like cardamom. So I'm going to omit that. So all we're doing is we're sharing our recipe and the community can say, oh yeah, I want to try that. Because we really do have to take the Goldilocks approach to this, right? How I track might not be how you want to track. How I work out might not be how you want to work out, right? But it's just looking at everything that's out there, looking at all these tools and trying one out for size. And if it fits with us and how we do things, awesome. Then we've got a tool that we can use for the rest of our lives to live our life in a healthy way. So that's really what we're about. We just want to share the recipe for everybody to take with it, to take from it what they want.
Oh my goodness. Well, I will have to be sure to link everything in the caption so that if people do want to check you out, have questions, like everyone, April is so easy to talk to. She's so open and lovely. So I have a feeling that if you went to her, she would 100% reach out, respond to you.
And I will just say too, our goal is to support anybody in the bariatric journey. If you are curious about bariatric surgery, reach out to us. If you're 10 years post-op, you can reach out to us. If bariatric surgery is not in your future, but you just want to know more about it, reach out to us. Yeah. We're real humans. We're adorable. We love to communicate with people. So yeah, we're here to support the community with humor, humility, and honesty.
I love that.
And I think we do all three of those things pretty well.
And recently I believe it was on your East to West weight loss that I found you doing a live try-on of CoEdition stuff.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
How many months ago was that I first stumbled across you? Like I saw you tagged CoEdition. You're like, we're doing this live try, and I was like, wait, what?
Yes.
And my team was like, wait, did we send those clothes to her to do this? I was like, no, we didn't. She bought everything.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do not mind spending my money at companies that do good for the community. So I got no problem with that. No, I was so down in the dumps, I guess, about COVID. I was just so over it. And all the clothes in my closet were just old and outdated. And I had lost more weight. I needed a refresh. And I was like, that's it. I'm buying dresses for Christmas and New Year's, even though we didn't do anything. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to wear this very nice dress for my husband. I'm going to set a nice table. And I had so much fun because I found your virtual try-on, that virtual try-on assistant.
Yeah.
Where you upload the picture of yourself. I was like, oh, and I was telling this to you. I could not believe that technology. I have a little bit of a belly. So I just took a picture of myself. I uploaded it to your system and I was like, yeah, let's see how this actually really works. I tried on that black and silver sequence dress.
Gunmetal dress?
Yes, the gunmetal dress. And I was like, oh my God. In the picture, you could see my belly in the dress. And I was like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. So of course I went like crazy and I ordered, I think 10 dresses and that box came and I was so happy to have something fresh and new. And that really solidified me as a customer forever because when that dress came, it looked exactly as it looked in that virtual try-on assistant. except, I mean, the course looked better on me. But I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh, you have to be kidding, because now I can buy with so much more confidence than I ever had before.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, yeah, it's the best technology out there. Because if I'm feeling sexy, if I want something a little bit more refined, like whatever it is, I just can upload a picture of myself and try on all these different things and make my purchase much more informed than I could have ever before. So when that box came, I called Natalie, our friend who also works on East to West with us. And I was like, girl, I just got this box of amazing dresses. I want to try them on live for people, but I need you to like run the comments. So we just set my camera upstairs in my bedroom. She was at her home in Seattle. She was monitoring the comments. You saw I was doing all the, you know, it was so much fun.
Who is this woman? I need to know her. Like, that's pretty incredible to like do on a full on track. Like, that's what I do for my job. Like, I do like live trends. I'm like, oh, this girl's doing this for fun.
Oh, dude, I do that for fun like every day. And now that I figured out Reels, oh, you better watch out. You better watch out.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Well, I am so glad that you have lost your weight and you're feeling amazing, but that you can still shop our styles, because we have got some really good stuff. And I think even if you were to lose more weight, like we started a size 10, so we have options smaller than 14.
That is very good to know.
We're very inclusive.
Well, you know, and I guess what I just, yeah, if I really think about that size question again, I just want to look the way that I want to look, no matter what the size is. And I guess what I appreciate about the plus size community is that I'm always going to be a chunkier human. I've got wide shoulders, I got big thighs, like I'm just built differently. Mm-hmm. But there is a community, there are businesses, there are fashion houses that cater to me and to my body. And it makes me that much more excited to experiment and play and have fun and really find creative ways to let the world know how amazing I feel based on, you know, kind of what I look like. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. And it's a great way for me to kind of build confidence and to really kind of rediscover who I'm going to be for this next chapter of my life. I mean, you know, nothing is stagnant, and my wardrobe certainly will not stay that way. So
I love that. And I love that, you know, even though you've lost all this weight, you're like, this is how my body is. Like, you know, like strip everything away. Like, this is my frame, because that is so true. Like, my entire family, we're all tall, we're all big people. And, you know, bless my mom's heart, she is in her 60s and she's still like, I need to lose weight. I'm like, well, Mom, like, maybe this is the way your body's supposed to be. Like, you've been here long enough. Like, this is probably just your body, like, which is awesome, you know? And in my adult life, I've never been below a size 14. And I think to myself, like, what would I even look like? I don't even know if it would be possible for my body to be a size 8. Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like odd. So, like, I feel like sometimes, you know, we do need to come to terms with the fact that, like, I'm a big, broad woman and I'm tall, and this is what my family genetics, and it's like, sadly, like, I am always going to have cankles. Even my thin aunt has cankles. It's just the runs in my family.
Hey, cankles and a cute sundress is all that you need. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Right? But I mean, what's the point of fighting against what we were built to look like? It's just, it's a fleeting fight. Put your energy towards something else. But if you're fighting against your frame, you're not going to get anywhere, right? And that's kind of this fine line between body positivity and body neutrality. It is what it is. Right. But instead of me beating myself up or doing crazy things to look a certain way, I can just say, thank you, body, for getting me to work today, or letting me walk Stella, or go to the beach, and just be done with this. Find clothes that I love and move on, because I'm not going to work my way out of these shoulders. It's just not going to happen.
So I do think, like, if someone is struggling, if they look in the mirror and they are struggling to love themselves, like, and they do think, like, I need to make a change, I want to make a change, or they've had news from the doctor, like, you're pre-diabetic, like, that happens, like, and you feel like, I need to do this, but they're worried, like, it's okay. It's okay. You know, if you have friends or you're in a community that's going to judge you or, you know, shame you, then maybe you should rethink that community. Because
exactly.
yes, because there are people out there that who can support you being body positive and being body neutrality, but then also support the decisions you make to be the best self you can be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And like
Yep.
for me, for instance, like I really try hard to eat well. Like when I eat like trash, I feel like trash mentally, physically. And so sometimes it's like I have to say no to like going to dinner because I know that I would just go and like just eat all the craziness and then I would feel just terrible. Not like guilt, but like physically feel sick the next day. And sometimes I feel like I have to hide that from people because they're going to be like, oh, why? Are you dieting? And to me, that just is like, it makes me think like, is this the right person to be in my life? You know, if I'm worried about them judging me for the decisions I'm making as a grown woman and what's best for me, then maybe I should rethink this, you know? And so I just want everyone to know that we are there to tell you that there are people out there that will support you, will be with you through all of this. And, you know, I feel like there is another movement on the horizon, this new body neutrality movement, that it's like people are going to be able to do whatever they want to do with their bodies, whether it's like, you know, it could be stuff that's not even related to weight loss. It could be getting a tattoo. It could be getting fake eyelashes, like so many things. It's like we're all such individual human beings. How about we just don't judge?
Weird. So weird. Did you say that? I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, you did say that. Oh, you're onto something.
Yes, absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
You just think about all of the time that other people, and even myself, I have given years of my life away to judgment. What a waste.
Yeah.
Because it got me nowhere, and it got whoever I was judging nowhere either. Right? If I would have put that time into positive places, into doing good instead of judging, I wonder what my life would look like. I wonder what other people's lives would look like. I mean, it's just, we give away so much of our time, and we have so little of it. It doesn't make any sense.
I do think on the flip side though, like being devil's advocate, if there is someone who is struggling with their self-image but hasn't put the work in and they want to be skinny based on like very surface level things, I think like maybe I would tell them like, why don't you dive in and try to do the self-love talk, try to do X, Y, and Z. That is like a different scenario versus someone who has a health issue, you know, or has been struggling for a very long time, you know, because sometimes it goes back to like when you have your thin friend and your thin friend is like, oh my God, I need to lose 10 pounds. Like, you know, like that can get really frustrating. And so I don't really know where I was going with this, but
well, and I would even, my approach I think has shifted, and it's even different. I just don't, if somebody comes to me and they say, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds. I don't care. Like, okay. I just gotten to the point where I can only do me. I can only do what's best for me. I can only control my life and my feelings and my reactions and how I present myself to the world, my values, my beliefs. And if somebody wants to have a conversation about what I'm doing, I welcome that. But I'm not going to, I don't know. I just, you do you. And if you want my support, then let me know. If you don't want my support, then let me know. I mean, it's just so much time. People should have the luxury of doing whatever they want to do. I mean, are you a good person? Are you paying your taxes? Do you vote? Are you kind to animals? Like, you know, do you love your family? Cool.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't care what you look like. I don't care what you weigh. I don't care, you know, it's you. And I'm here to support you if you want it. And if you don't, then that's okay too.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. I know that you seem like a very open person, but it can be very personal to some people, and some people don't have like the ability to talk about it like the way you do. But I feel like because of that, you're such like a leader in the community, and you're able to teach, and that's just so wonderful, April.
Well, thank you. Yeah. It's amazing to me. Every single day somebody reaches out to me and they say, you know what, I have an Instagram account, I watch all of your lives, I do this, I do that, but I've just never interacted. But I learned so much from you. You are making my journey, you know, you're making me feel more positive, you know, whatever. Something is changing because of that.
Yeah.
And that's good, because some people can't be as vocal or whatever is seen as I am, and that's okay. That's wonderful. It's not about what you can and can't do. It's that I have the ability, I'm okay with it, so I can do this, because I know some people aren't and some people can't. And I might be able to do this, but that person that's standing, you know, in the shadows of Instagram, they're doing something in their life that I couldn't do. Right. So I'm paying it forward so that you can pay it forward in other ways too. That's all it is. So it's just support here if you want it. We just want to let people know that if you're struggling, if you're curious, if you don't know where to turn, this could be a place.
Yeah. I just think that you just seem like such a supportive woman all around. Like, you know, regardless of your bariatric experience, I feel like you would just be like a great person to go and like just talk to. You just seem so knowledgeable and warm and friendly. You're just such a light. So, you know, if someone is wanting to make a change in their life, whether it's weight loss surgery or even just like, you know, I'm struggling with where I'm at right now and I'm trying to figure out what is the best thing for me to do. If they wanted to reach out to you, where could they find you?
Oh, the two best places are actually on Instagram. Okay. So my kind of personal Instagram handle is at actively_April. And east to west is at east, the number 2, west_WLS.
Okay.
I'm always there. We also have a website. It's just www.east2westws.com. But we're always there. That's just the simplest way to get us.
Okay, perfect. I will be sure to link that in the caption below. And if you also do follow her on those channels, I'm sure you'll be seeing her in quite a bit of CoEdition fashion and styles. Because yes, girl, I cannot wait. She just got a bunch of new stuff in the mail and we are so excited to see her in those.
Oh, the beautiful like green blue dress that I was able to style like dressed up and dressed down is like my new obsession. Everything in the box that's upstairs, jumpsuits. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited to just showcase that fun side of life, because that is.
Well, thank you for sharing CoEdition with all of your followers and all of it. You know, your community, that means so much to us, because I think in the plus size community, we're all so interconnected, you know, and it's like,
oh yes,
you know, CoEdition is still fairly unknown to a lot of women. And so if we can spread the word, because if it brings, you know, it's bringing people so much joy every single day, that like, let's spread the wealth, let's spread the joy. And so thank you, April, for everything that you do. And, you know, I'm so grateful that I met you. And I think like, I am just so in awe of everything about you. You're just a smart, like beautiful, stylish gal. And
that's right.
We're so happy to have you as a customer and now a total friend.
Good. Well, you are light in my life now, and it takes a village, and I'm so happy that you are a part of my village now. So thank you.
If you guys, anyone who's watching or watches after, have any questions for April, I will link everything in the caption. You can always reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram on CoEdition's social pages. I'm sure she would be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Also, check out her podcast. That sounds really interesting. Even if you aren't someone who wants to or like is on the road to bariatric surgery, I just feel like it might be it just might be a really interesting listen.
Oh, and I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me. They are not bariatric patients. They don't have an excess amount of weight, but they will message me and they'll go, oh my gosh, your episode on identity or your episode on habit formation or addiction transfer is exactly what I needed because I'm struggling with this.
Yeah.
I mean, weight is so personal, and just because I've had bariatric, I still have to use all of the things that any human would have to use to live our lives at a healthy weight. Bariatric surgery was one tool out of my entire toolbox. So even though weight loss surgery is in the title of our podcast, it is geared towards anybody that would like to make some changes in their life and in their health.
Amazing. Amazing. I will 100% be sure to check it out, April. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It looks like everyone had an awesome time in the comments. Thank you everyone for joining us. I was so excited about this chat, and it's just been so lovely connecting with you.
You as well. Thank you so much.
We will talk soon, okay?
Sounds good.
Bye. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.